This is the first episode of Trinity Unplugged. This is going to be the most uncomfortable, unfiltered, raw, unafraid ideas that will push the edges of your beliefs from me. This is for business owners. This is for coaches. This is for particularly those who want to push the upper echelons of their potential and live a life that is boundless. Live a life that is not controlled by the paradigms, the conditioning, and the ideas that have been programmed into you by society, by the matrix, by your upbringing, by all the people who fucked you up. You're not going to like a lot of things that I say. You're going to love some of them. You're going to be incredibly inspired by others. The aim is to reprogram the beliefs that no longer serve you. In doing so, you are going to be emotionally incited. You are going to be, sometimes parts of you will be angry, upset, agitated. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? Etc., etc. Even people who think they know me quite well, students of mine, clients of mine, may feel this. You need to understand that I'm here. Right now I'm speaking quite assertively as GI Saad. That's why I got the tank on. GI Saad is here, not Saad. He'll make an appearance, but GI Saad is here to fuck your shit up. I'm here to expose the brainwashing and conditioning and lengthen the Overton window. You might not have never heard of the Overton window. The Overton window is a range of ideas that is politically acceptable, considered politically acceptable. The Overton window is governed by the current zeitgeist, the current mainstream, and is ever changing based on a certain year or given period of time, and is also impacted by culture. So this means, let's say, some ideas are taboo or unthinkable. Some ideas are acceptable and sensible. Some ideas become popular or even policy. All given by a certain, all dictated by a certain cultural norm at a given time. The word gay used to be used a lot in the 2000s and 1990s as a satirical, joking, also demeaning way towards the homosexual population. But it wasn't so sensitive on a general populace level where the whole society would, not whole society, a very large majority, a minority would freak the fuck out if you said that word. The same word, also the word retarded. So we've already said two words that are going to trigger the fuck out of some people and activate some people. This is the idea of lengthening the Overton window and understanding the difference between intent, definition of a word, satire, humor, and genuine harm to hurt somebody. I'll move on. One of the goals is to lengthen the Overton window here. Why would you want to lengthen the Overton window? Without going down a rabbit hole, the larger you lengthen the Overton window, generally speaking, the more open dialogue and free thought that you allow. So instead of policing people's speech, which has multiple orders of consequence on an individual, societal, and global level that can be quite damaging, instead, you foster a culture of critical thinking that allows the best ideas to win. What happens when you police speech is that echo chambers begin to be created and they don't get to actually be challenged. The very ideas that you don't like because you're criticizing and condemning them, they actually grow very significantly in their own echo chambers and then do damage when they come out of their echo chamber and run back in very quickly. Not only that, but the Overton window promotes innovation and progress. Because you are allowing speech to come out, you are allowing people to communicate and critically think together and find the best ideas. Progress is created through intelligent, challenging dialogue. And if you're going to say this word is very bad and this word is very bad and you can't talk about this and that is wrong, and here is the lawful consequence of saying a word, not actually causing necessary physical harm or bodily harm to somebody or damaging somebody, but because someone's feelings are hurt, you create a level of civil discourse that is very biased towards one side of thinking. And so my job and intention here is to unfilteredly, unafraidly expose you to what is on the edges of your Overton window, so you can upgrade your thinking, reprogram your conditioning, and understand that you are actually limitless and there are no limits, and you have boundless potential to create and do whatever you want. And there are certain beliefs that are keeping you very poor in money, in business, in mindset, fearful. And I invite you to bring rebuttals to everything I say, because I'm here to also be challenged from the point of, if someone wants to come on and have a debate, or rather just a critically thought out conversation, my mind and heart is open to be upgraded, to be refined, to sharpen my sword. But this is how I've been living my entire life. I am here of service to sharpen your sword. I'm here actually for my students, for my Trinity students. That is why one predominant reason why I've created this is because my coaches who I coach and business owners, I've noticed many of you are stuck. Many of you have a set of chain of beliefs that is holding you back significantly. And I have a duty and responsibility to, in that onboarding process of working with you for new intakes and current intake now, to dive in sharply, confront you with the harsher but ultimately more rewarding and productive belief system that will in the end actually get you greater outcomes and get you unstuck. But before we do that, you may actually have to walk through some mud and some cognitive dissonance to get there. And so a lot of you know what to do. The answers are out there. You don't need the answers. This is one reason Trinity exists, because a lot of you struggle with the implementation and the accountability, someone to believe in you. So I'm going to first start with one belief that needs to absolutely be rewired. This is going to be uncomfortable, but it will also be liberating and freeing for you, because you will gain greater control and agency over your life, and wealth, abundance, money will flow through as a result. This is not a philosophical or spiritual claim here. This is one of reality. Your beliefs create your reality. Let's begin. So, you're starting a business. You want to make money. My coaches, my Trinity students listening to this, congratulations, you are in Trinity. You're in one of the highest standards mentorship experiences. You're in the best mentorship experience in Australia. If anybody has a better one that they think, let me know, show me how it's better and higher quality. And if you can prove that, and I don't actually make changes to Trinity to match that, I'll give you a ticket for Trinity for free, giving away a fuck ton of money. I really believe I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. You show me something better. That's a little bit of ego. I'm aware of this, but there's also some competition and some self-belief completely radically in myself and what I've created. Anyway, what's the first belief? So you want to start a business. All right, you're excited. I want to get away from the 9 to 5. I want to unplug from the matrix, start my own business, create my own money, live my life that is much more freeing so I can create a life of abundance. I want to travel. I want to have a family. I want to support them. Fantastic. Awesome. Great. Okay. I need to tell you something. You need to be aware of this. It's going to be very, very hard, but you might have heard that before, but you probably shouldn't do it. It's going to be very hard. You probably shouldn't do it. You're probably not cut out for it, or at least it's going to be so difficult. You're going to call into question many times throughout your journey whether you should quit or not. You should actually probably quit now. I am not just saying that. A lot of you, even maybe some of my current or former Trinity students actually have had one or two realize that, this is actually not for me. I'm not cut out. I don't want this life. And there is no shame necessarily in that. What I'm trying to say is that you think you want this life, and you need to know the consequences of it. You need to know the cost of it. So let me explain to you the cost. If you just want $200K a year, kind of 20, you can do that with 25 clients, paying you $70, $80 a week, and be cool with that. Like, that's not that difficult, but it also is difficult in a way where you have to do a lot if you're just running the online business. If you are just expecting to get all your clients and customers just from online with no paid ads and do it all organically, it's going to require a significant amount of work every single day. And I think a lot of you think, I've seen a lot of you think that you're going to keep your weekends and that you can just work Monday to Friday and a couple hours a day and you'll be okay. You're fucking wrong. You're wrong. It's going to take you orders of magnitude longer to get there. You can do it, but in the timeline of Trinity, it's not going to work, and you should probably quit now. And I'm okay with accepting that if you're actually not willing to put in that work and you've had this very spiritual kind of confronting realization that, holy shit, I actually prefer my 9 to 5 or my shift work or my whatever job that I'm doing, because it actually, I can switch off, and it's okay. If you want to switch off, that's okay. Like, it's okay. But when you run your own business, you know it's all on you, right? You generate the income. You are there of service to your clients all the time. It's all on you. That is also a gift, and some people perceive it as a curse. I never perceive it as a curse because it's a duty and responsibility. At my level, it weighs heavily. It weighs heavily because there is just so much depth and complexity to my business, right? There's so many moving parts. There's so many people. It's not just change. It's not just improving someone's health. It's highly complex and varied, and there's so much nuance to it. Okay, that's not what you're going through. What I used to go through when I was in your shoes was, all right, I have a singular focus. I need to get, let's say when you want to build your online business and get online clients. Beautiful. Do you know what actually that takes? Do you really know what that takes? Because what I thought it takes, what I thought it took was, okay, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm well educated, and if I do a good job with the current clients I have, well, that'll come around. They'll refer me and I'll grow my business. Wrong. You're fucking wrong. You're wrong. Most of the time for most people, and I've seen exceptions to the rule, you're wrong. There has never been more saturation in this industry. There's never been more health professionals and coaches and trainers and people in this industry. How are you truly going to separate yourself with mediocre efforts? Most of you think you're working hard, and unequivocally are absolutely not. The threshold of the tolerance for how hard you could actually work is so much more boundless than what you're currently experiencing. I've had students that have had to really build their stress tolerance from very little, from like 1-2 hours a day. So you understand that your stress tolerance builds over time, but you also have to acknowledge and understand that most of you are actually not doing anywhere near the amount of sheer output that you need to. It should frustrate you. It should annoy you, and you should wake up upset, and then you should channel that energy into output. And if you don't, then you cannot expect your mediocre life to change. You want the beauties and gifts and abundance of life. You want money, more of it. You want freedom, much more of it. You want to be able to travel to places, to eat at places, to not have to look at the bills when you go pay for things, to be able to shout your friends and family dinners and lunches. You might even have bigger dreams and goals of starting bigger businesses or impacting people on a deeper level. I had a woman tell me she wants a 7-figure business on an inquiry Trinity triage call. I held back from saying what I really had to think and feel. None of you do not understand what it takes to develop a level of that type of business. If you want 7-figure, that is a whole different ball game. You're not running an e-commerce store where you can run some ads and run a playbook written by someone that you've paid $20,000 to run that they've repeated time and time again. There is absolute nuance in the complexity in helping people in psychology and human behavior, and taking a human being from someone who's a stranger who doesn't know you to give you their hard-earned money. Do you just think people are just going to give you their money? Like, what level of delusion do you actually operate under where you think people are just going to give you their money that they've worked so hard for because you can help them with their health and you can help them lose weight? Do you think that's all it's going to take? Yes, there are exceptions to the rule and people who have simply just done that, but you have to compare them to you. They have a very different life. They have very different goals, and they've operated on a different timeline. The people who have gotten away with just mediocre efforts and created a decent good living and a decent good business have often taken so many more years longer than you are willing to actually accept. Let's say Trinity, for example, the 12-month-ish experience, and the goal and the point is to put you in a pressure chamber where it's very uncomfortable to grow. And that's what I'm doing here. Is facing you all with the reality that, one, don't join Trinity because you're not cut out for it. You'll just find it very uncomfortable. You just won't like it in some ways, and you'll love it in some other ways. And you watch my documentary that I did on it, and you'll want to be so inspired to join because there's nothing else like it. But at the same time, I'm telling you, please don't contact me to join until you're truly ready to be pushed to the limits. Because I actually hold back a lot of the time of really pushing you guys. I really hold back. If you really got to hear what I really thought and felt, a lot of you would feel really uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. I've put a little bit out on my YouTube, and this is really a vehicle for me to do that in a depersonalized manner, because I'm actually not trying to offend anybody or insult people, because I think that's a largely unproductive endeavor. What I'm trying to do is show you reality in an objective way that is detached from the emotion between me and you, because I'm not actually talking to you, I'm talking to everybody. This is depersonalized, right? So the point of what we're trying to say is the effort required to create the outcomes that you want is so different than what you think. I'll give you an example. You want to create your online business, you need to post every day. If you don't post every day, then I consider you to have no hope. No chance and no hope in a 12-ish month timeline to get any meaningful amount of clients to get to a six-figure business, to get to 100K, to get to 15, 20 clients. Let me tell you a story about myself, because some of you just think like I don't know what you think. Do you think I just run Trinity and just like I sit on business class flights and like I never was PTing on the gym floor and coaching people for fucking free? Or let me tell you a story. So how I began was a 19, 20-year-old kid who was obsessed. And what I did, because I think you can relate to this, right? What I did before I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars, before I was getting people, fuck the ego for a second. You understand it, right? I got a nice life and a good life. It's extremely stressful, but that's another conversation. Anyway, you actually don't want my life. You'd probably lose your mind. Like genuinely, you don't want parts of my life. You want parts of it, but you don't want other parts of it. But then again, you're not trying to create your own version of Trinity. You're just trying to coach like 20, 30 people, have a good life. 100K, 200K, cool. Sail off into the sunset. Some of you want much more. That's a different level of conversation. Those people will absolutely get the absolute most out of me, because those people are willing to do whatever it takes. But you don't even need to do whatever it takes to get to 100, 200K. You just need to do enough. But most of you aren't even doing enough. Enough is every day. Every day. It's really not that hard, because remember, you chose this shit. And I think I'm taking a tangent here before I tell you my story. Do you realize that you chose to start a business, that no one actually is forcing you, that you chose to do this? You get to start a business. This is on you. You chose it. And the fact that you have to have somebody, or that you need somebody to almost hold your hand, not hold your hand because accountability is very important, but when you are told and instructed to do things, not just by me, James Smith, Alex Hormozy, fucking whoever else you're inspired by, and they tell you time and time again, do this. How many reels do you have to watch? How many YouTubes? How many podcasts? How many courses? Aren't you a bit annoyed at yourself that you still haven't gotten this shit done yet? Like either there's something seriously wrong and you need to maybe go see a psychologist. I don't mean that in a contemptuous way. Genuinely, psychologists can transform your life, a good one anyway. Or get really deep into the weeds, go do some ayahuasca, do some DMT, maybe take some mushrooms, or just fucking get it done. Just get it done and realize that you're full of shit and your actions are not matching your expectations, and you absolutely need to do more. You absolutely need to do more. So it's every day, and it should be all day. Why don't you want to work more? Don't you want to do this? My research assistant, Kiara, bless her soul, she loves this shit. She loses track of time when she's studying and researching. I couldn't get her to do her part-time job. We could barely get her to do a part-time job without massive dysregulation of her nervous system, massive emotional overspills and overwhelm and stress, and she'd be in bed for hours, completely dysregulated, just going through it hard, guys. Hard. Almost every call, she would come to me crying and just struggling hard, much more than 99% of you. And now, she's done so well through Trinity, I've actually hired her because she's a little weapon. I love that girl. She's a weapon. She is in her zone of genius. There's a recent term that I've heard. The zone of genius is the place you're meant to be in this life. It's where time passes by and you're like, oh my God, 2 hours just passed? It's like you're coaching and you're helping people, or you're in some type of field and solving some type of problem, and you're in a zone. You're in a zone. Like for me, it's fighting. It's doing this. It's reading. It's researching. It's building the business. It's like I could sit here for 10 hours and just build. It's extremely gratifying. Extremely gratifying. Your zone of genius is something like that, right? So what the point I'm trying to come to is, what's is this? Are you sure this is kind of your zone? This is your zone of genius. This is the place that you just hit flow. Because I got a client in Kiara who did Trinity, and she went from not being able to tolerate barely a 15-hour work week to now doing 3-4 hour deep work blocks. I'm paying her for. She's loving it. Stresses. She's not dysregulated. Granted, she went through psychology. She got coached by me for 2 years. We went deep into like unraveling the shit. She went to be a coach on the gym floor. She actually did pretty well given her circumstances. In like 16 weeks, she went from 0, we got it to like 12, 13, 14 clients, right? Then she realized, this shit, I don't want to be face to face like this. That's what she realized. She realized she's much better online than in the hyper excitatory environment of a big box commercial gym that's the biggest one in Sydney and is like cutthroat. Like she realized like it's really dysregulating for her. And for females in particular who have high neuroticism and like a certain history that has their proclivity towards more anxiety, like I get it. I understand because I've coached so many women like that. And your zone of genius may very well be in something very different. That might be in the online coaching space. But she also realized that she doesn't want to sit there like nuts and bolts of the business with systems and backends and like doing content every single day, trying to sell people and all this shit. She realized like, I don't want that. That's not for me. But you know what she's brilliant at? The research side, the problem solving, the teaching, the nuts and bolts of the human science. She's geeking out over energy metabolism, biochemical pathways. I'm like, you're fucking hired. You're exactly what I need. I love that. If that's you, you don't have to fucking coach. Do you realize that? The box is much bigger than you think. You can be a researcher. You can go to university, be a researcher. Get a PhD. I already got a PhD. But if you know, not get a PhD, get something that allows you to express or be in a place that expresses your zone of genius. That might not be coaching. It might not, if you don't have to do the whole fucking online coaching posting every day. You realize that. But if you have goals that are big enough related to that, then you need to go through that rite of passage to get the outcomes you're looking for, right? To get the outcomes you're looking for. But if you're like, you know what, after 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and you're just hitting roadblock, and you're getting coached by some of the best. I got one of my students, I'm not going to name names right now because, I just don't want to do that. But one of my students, he has seen multiple mentors before me, and some of them have been quite good. They've been good enough. And he's just noticed some challenges with, just sticking to things in regards to, going from mentor to mentor. It takes some, it's like, just hasn't had that breakthrough yet. And, having a conversation with him, like, after so many mentors, you have to realize the common denominator is actually you. And this isn't actually to you. You know who I'm talking about, right? The person I'm talking to knows who this is. This isn't actually directly to you exactly, but to everybody. And that at some point you have to reflect after time and time again, after you've listened to this and done this, it's not to say give up. It's to say know when to pivot and know when you're actually not operating in your zone of genius in the place that you're supposed to be. And that if you're finding it really hard and it's like you're climbing uphill and you don't like to eat shit, then find an area in your life where eating shit is enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had a place to eat shit, it would be building businesses and fighting. That's it. I'll sit in that discomfort. I love it, right? I love it and not hate it, but I love it, but it's also very difficult. But I'll sit in it and I'll be able to sit here for hours on end. And I built that stress tolerance over from like when I was 15, since I was 15 years old, right? So it builds over time. But most of you are just being soft pussies. Like, that's just reality. Like, people don't want to say that. People don't want to admit that. Oh my God, you hurt my feelings. I'm not here to care about your sensibilities. Like, fuck your feelings right now because you don't have the life you want and it's on you. Like, no, people have asked me, oh, who's the dream guest speaker? People have put out like fucking Hormozi, Peterson. I'm like, What are you talking about? Amazing. I love those people. But you want me to pay $50,000, or you want the opportunity, fuck me, you want the opportunity to get them in front of you. Do you know they have 300 hours of content online that you're not even absorbing, let alone taking action from? So your problem actually isn't action. The problem is, your problem isn't information. It's the actual action taking behind it. You're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. You're not doing consistently enough. You're getting in your own way. You're getting distracted so much. You're not saying no enough. You need to hyper focus and fixate on what you want to do. And if that's not business, guys, that's okay. Because this shit ain't for everybody. I was talking to a Trinity applicant. Actually, fuck that story. And it's okay if it's not for everybody, but you have to be really self-aware, but you also have to be patient, realize, don't just capitulate because, oh my God, it's hard and Saad said to stop because he's pushing me. No. See it through. You kind of gotta go through it. You gotta foreplay it. You gotta go through it and realize, all right, let me massage the knot. Let me stick in the mud, grind through the reps. You get, the most stimulatory reps are the last ones when you train. In sparring, it's the time that you want to get out and stop when your nose is bleeding. Can relate. 6'4" Egyptian. Thank you, Sam. Gleason's shout out. And it's that time where it's very confronting. You really are facing who you are. Okay, let me tell you a story. So, the effort and time, a lot of you want to quit. A lot of you are not willing to see it through. I was connecting with somebody here in Bali, very successful coach who does men's work. When we first started speaking, a year and a half, 2 years ago, he was looking to hire me as a coach. Didn't end up happening for whatever reason. He just didn't fill out the form. Fast forward, we're staying in contact. We have a general connection online, very aligned values, follow each other, this and that. See him, he's got like 3,500 followers. Then I see him like get 10,000. And then I see him get 100. And the next time I look, it's at 300,000. And this is all within like a 6-month time period. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I was sitting down with him at lunch. And do you know what he told me? I can't wait for him to tell this story. He told me that he was posting 3 to 4 times a day. Every day. He was working on content for 3 hours a day. He wasn't making any more money than me at the time. He was probably doing about 100K. Right? Something even some of you want. 100K. He's just slogging every day. 8 months in. 8 months. He's held me about 100 followers. How many of you are willing to go that far and post? I'm just saying post every day something fun. Something you enjoy. Solve a problem. Client asked me this. Oh, here's it online. Right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying fucking well-produced shit. I'm not, like, that's cool. Like, love that if you can. But, like, get out of your own way. Just make it easy. Make it fun. Share your personality. All of that great shit, right? And he's posting every day, 3-4 hours on content, grinding, fucking ringing it, right? He's about to quit. One of his friends says, fucking, I'm done, man. This is not working. Fuck this. His friend said, no, don't stop. I can feel it. It's coming. It's around the corner. The next motherfucking week, one of his reels hits 1 million. Blows up. Blows up. Okay. Goes to 1 million. Shit. He goes from 3,000 to 10,000 followers. Fucking dap it up. Nice, man. Lead inflow. Starts to get a bunch of messages. He's got more clients now. Oh, shit. I've got more clients now. I can't take... This is quite a lot right now. Get some advice. And one of the pieces of advice from one of his mentors was like, the hook, man. Your hooks are shit. Focus on your hook. I tell you guys the same thing. Like, the hook is really important. Learn just how I hooked you with this podcast, right? The hooks are really important. He just called him out. Fix your hooks. Say it like this, not like this. First 5 seconds, very important. Don't say ums and ahs and here we are in the supermarket. Hi, my name's James. And this video, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Why would anybody listen to this shit? This is not YouTube. They don't know who you are. Look at Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast don't even do this shit. He's a billionaire. Anyway, you want to look at the greats and how they do it, and then you can see this shit. Anyway, let's keep going. How you guys seeing another fucking GI Saad in me, right? Let's go. Anyway, 8 months in, I'm gonna quit. He doesn't. hits, listens to the feedback from his mentor, bang, bang. And it was just a DM. It was so off the cuff, the feedback he got. Bang, Millie. Speaking of Millie, wait for this. Then he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. When you see some success, what do you do? What do? You gonna stop? Yeah, we'll see about that shit. All right, so he keeps going every day. He's building the momentum. All right, great. You know what happens? He blows up again. 50K, 100K followers. Then shit really gets wild. Starts to get invited on podcasts, but not fuck that. The money changes. The lead inflow gets fucking crazy. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people asking him to coach him, for their coaching. He looked at his fucking Calendly. He freaked the fuck out. It was fully booked. 30 inquiry calls every week. I can't wait for him to tell it because he captures the emotion. He's like, holy shit. He blew up in a span of what looked like a week, 2 weeks, or a few weeks. But it took 8 months of every fucking day. And he'd been a coach for how long? 6-7 years. And you're mad and you're upset that you haven't got it. Riley, you're fucking 20. You've just begun. This motherfucker went 6-7 years. And guess what now? Now, of course, we could do it faster because you got me. Let's go. And these stories. You don't need to do it for 7 years. But if you did, you might just fucking capitulate. Well, good thing I'm here. So, do you want to know how his business changed so much? I'm not saying names, so I can say this. He now is sitting at the table with me, and he has a great team, and he's got this great. He's got an offer that is so automated and it's a one-time offer that you can buy, right? It's a pre-recorded course that helps men, right? And that's his level 1 offer. He created that to solve some of the bottleneck with lead flow. Like he just created an offer that was it's about 1,000. He sells 2 a day. This motherfucker could do fucking nothing and makes $2,000 US a day just sitting there. No other offers. It's not even his main shit. That's level 1. What's $2,000? This motherfucker makes 700K and has no input from the face-to-face coaching. $2,000 US a day. He went from 3,000 followers asking me for coaching. Barely making 100K. Working the gym floor. He was relentless. He didn't stop. He had someone tell him, keep going. And I'm telling you right now, guys, keep going. Your time is coming. I tell myself the same shit. I feel it. Ooh, I feel it. Trinity is too it's not even about what I put into it. It's becoming too good to not fucking this. I feel it. It's coming. I have so much belief in it. You could all leave the fucking intake tomorrow. I know I still got the juice. I have belief, right? I have belief because I know I have the evidence. I know it's very special. I just believe. You know, I've seen the responses you guys have given. I've seen the impact we've had at the retreats. Saw that documentary we made and put out on YouTube. And I know we're doing something incredibly special. And every single day I'm obsessed. I'm driven. I feel like I'm ordained. You understand? Okay? And thank God this person I'm talking to, like, he changed his life. Guys, his tax bill is more, he told me his tax bill, it's more than you guys make in a year. It's over 100K. His tax bill. Can you believe that shit? This guy used to be like you. He's not like super like fucking special. He doesn't even understand business like that. I'm looking at his landing pages. I'm like, bro, you gotta fix this. There's an error here. There's a problem here. He doesn't know what a fucking metapixel is. He doesn't know tracking. He has a good team. He did one thing really well. Content. every day. And I'm mad at myself. Let me tell you something. I'm mad at myself. Every single fucking day, a part of me is upset and frustrated at myself that I'm not putting content in every day. I'm filling intakes for Trinity with half measures. What the fuck could I do? The impact I could make on this planet. Fuck my money. What's the impact I could make on this planet, on this industry, on the level of disruption? That's ego too. Fuck legacy. Doesn't matter. What's the level of impact I could have on the lives of more of you guys if I really stepped up there? So that's why I'm investing big into it. If you understood how much money I invest into videography and photography and what's coming out now, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. The videos that you've seen, a lot of money, time, and energy and patience has been put into them. A lot of mistakes has been put into them, right? Because I know content is just, it's a missing piece for me. So I understand. Here's what you might be wondering. Well, why isn't Saad doing what he's saying? Well, first of all, let me explain to you one thing. I've done that. How do you think I got here? Dummy. How do you think I got here? Okay, let me tell you. When I was frustrated as fuck, I got my whiteboard in my old place in Melbourne, right? I told you what I did. Tell you what I did. Got the whiteboard. I said, fuck all of y'all. I'm getting here. I'm going to 100K. I'm sick of this bullshit. You got people out here shaking their ass, making more money, selling fucking programs, fucking group app shit. How many apps we need? There's enough apps. Fucking your regular ass basic slice bread shit programming, coaching, online coaching. It's all fucking boring to me. It's all uninspiring. Change someone's. I don't want to demean it too much because people could actually impact and change lives. For me, it didn't speak to my heart. I was frustrated. So what did I do? I got a fucking whiteboard and I drew how many clients I had. 1, 2, 3. And I said how much money they pay me per week. And at the time I was probably charging, I just started online coaching. I was charging about 69 a week. 69, 67, right? I said, what's that per year equated on a 12-month retention? I did the number, fucking $2.5 grand. All right, I make $2.5 grand a year. What if I make 2 clients? $5 grand. Every time I sign a new client, I did the number per week, and then I did how much more money I'm making per year. 1 client, 5 clients, 6 clients, 7 clients. I get a dopamine rush every time I did it, like hitting a trophy in a video game. Grand Theft Auto, just headshot, dead. That's how I felt great. Nothing was going to stop me. Fuck you. This is how I talk to myself, okay? You get an insight into me. All right? So, it's climbing. And it was proportional with the amount of content I was putting out. And aligned with that, mentorship. I really, everything changed once I got mentorship. And when I got mentorship, shout out to Carl Goodman, one of my mentors who changed my life. Without him, Trinity would not exist and I would not be here speaking to him. I'm forever indebted to him. Also forever indebted to Christian Woodford. Forever indebted to Jay Ellis. Forever indebted to a lot of my mentors who have really changed me. We can get into that later. Anyway, fucking whiteboard. Yeah, new client. Let's go. Right? Fuck, lost client. And you have to rub that shit out, and you have to go back. $3 grand less a year. Shit. What did I learn though? And you got to realize, what did you learn? You got to write down what you learned. Okay, I got to fix that hole. And so many motherfuckers were stopping coaching because of money. I said, what? Why everybody sucks so much at managing their money? And then I realized, look, I gotta start being part of the solution. That's when I filmed a whole money mastery course. I sat there for 30 hours sitting in a money mastery course, teaching my clients about money. Like, why do y'all suck at this? What's the relationship with money? It's all fucked up. I said, let me be part of the solution instead of having contempt or judgment. Let me understand. Let me try and understand the perspective you're coming from. That's not a part of the solution. I understand some of you have that experience as well. Like, it's just what you learned, the conditioning you got. You got to reprogram, unprogram, recondition, understand you're a boundless, limitless human being that has multiple lives and has lived multiple timelines. And you can do whatever you want on this planet. I can fly. I cannot die. You understand? Do you understand? You don't understand. All right, let's keep going. So the whiteboard. All right, 10, 20. And what was I doing to the actions to create that? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Okay, my South African accent. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, in South Africa, we, okay. You know, they got all barbed wires on. It's all fucked up in Joburg. I've been. So I'm writing down the numbers, and every day I'm making content. And my content takes me at least 1 to 2 hours to make every day. This is not some quick fucking content, just like put it together. Like I'm picking kind of the harder way, like that other guy, like hours of content a day. I just did one piece, and it was problem solving, and it was videos and reels, and it was photos and carousels. And I didn't really have like this big grand strategy. I was just putting it together and just trying to use what I was learning on the fly. Someone didn't give me a strategy like I've given you guys a strategy. It's like, here's a blueprint. You like the viral video vault blueprint that I gave you. That's not mine. I didn't make that up. I've adapted that from a multi-grand mentorship that I paid for that helps people make $1 million businesses and get millions of views and has a lot of proof to do it. That's how they were able to create such great marketing and grow their business, was using the viral video vault and taking popular pieces, getting popular pieces, running it through that system that I show you guys in the Trinity LMS. Like, that's not me. I'm showing you, I've adapted it and refined it. I'm showing you what's worked very well for other people, because I don't have the execution time right now to be able to run that through my system and wait for that to work for me. Let me use evidence from other people as well. So this is why, anyway, I use a combination of mentorships that I've used and evidence from other people that has worked really well, that is high authority for me, my mentors as an example, and I use my own personal experience and the experience that I've done from actually coaching real businesses instead of just telling people how to run a business and sell people on that, which some people do in this industry, which I won't lose my shit on right now because that's not the point of this. Anyway, so content every day, 90 minutes, 2 hours, okay? And sometimes in my body, I would be like, I don't want to do this. I am stressed. My day is full. I don't want to do this. It is late. I want to eat. I am hungry. I would feel this frequently, but I made a commitment. Fuck you every day, right? And sometimes, because I got such on a roll, it started to, every now and again, it'd be like a 2 a day. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, awesome. And I was just committed and dedicated. And you can't scroll through my Instagram and see this because I've hidden about 600 posts. But during this time, momentum starting to build. And as I was getting results with my clients, I filmed everything like I tell you guys to do. For the coaches who aren't in Trinity, film all your check-ins. Holy shit. Your clients are going to say some great shit about you. It's going to be a beautiful video testimonial. It's going to help someone on social media to feel seen and heard and want to reach out to you because of that. I've never seen anyone do it at that time when I was doing it years ago, was real life check-in and real life check-ins that were super authentic and raw, like people breaking down, oh my God, binge eating, gone after 10 years. Oh my God, you helped me make $8,000. And it was like super rare, awesome moment that wasn't scripted, that was super authentic. You want to capture those moments? The only way you capture them is if you fucking download OBS Studio, look up a YouTube video for 5 minutes and figure out how to click the record button. Like, I don't understand why you're letting so much money go down the drain. People will trust you once they can see the results that they will get are not a fluke and they're not just taking your word for it. Do you understand? You can't compare yourself to me. You can't do what I do anymore because I have 10 years of authority. It's not going to work. I have people coming to me who said, I got a recent applicant, I just accepted into Trinity. How long have you known about me? 2.5 years, he said. He said, I'm 2.5 years too late. I should have done this earlier. Some of you haven't even been a fucking coach for 2.5 years, let alone posting content every day. He took 2.5 years to work with me. I'm not trying to say that to be, look at me, my BDE. I'm trying to say, if he took 2.5 years for me, you know some clients are going to fucking take some time with you, and every day you delay putting a post out, you actually rob people from getting helped. And they're going to go to someone else. They're just going to go to someone else because they need the help, right? I got, guys, some of you have told me it took you like 5 years before you reached out to work with me. So if it took you so long, and some of you much quicker, if it took you so long, what do you think your fucking prospects are thinking as well? So how do you compress time? Let me tell you. You compress time by getting in close proximity. So what does that mean? Community, in-person events, actually. One thing I did, Simone is a student in my intake, and one thing I did, I just wanted to get to know her before she even fully applied for Trinity, she was kind of like a little inquiring a little bit. She's getting to know me and all of that on a deeper level. I said, you want to come train together? Come train together. I trained together with one of my other students, and it was great. It was a good time. And I think that really had a meaningful impact because she got to feel my energy. She got to sense my spirit, and she just got to feel my authenticity and just who I was. And that proximity accelerated the connection and trust that she had for me. And it was conscious. It was conscious. I'm like, I did invite her because I wanted her to feel me out, because I knew she would be able to come to a more confident decision. But I was also unattached to the outcome. Like, if she doesn't really like me, that's okay. Like, she can find somebody else she likes. And so proximity is one of them. And the other one is volume of touch points. Your prospects, for them to become a lead and a future client, you significantly underestimate how much time they need to see you. Like, think about this. Actually, that's a bad example. Think about how many times it takes for you to follow somebody. Now, how many times does it take on average for you to give somebody your money? And how many times does it take you to not only give you someone their money, but actually trust you enough to work with you, sign an agreement and contract, and give you your money, give them your money every week? Like, how long does that take you on average? Like, you just do that shit every week? Of course you don't. You're pretty diligent about it. Unless your pain is really big, and then usually that's uncommon for your pain to be that big. Unless your pain is really big and you need to compress time, you need to make a decision fast. But usually, you need to see somebody dozens and dozens and dozens of fucking times. So think about it. Why do we say post content every day? Why does the greats do it? Why does James Smith harp on about it like he's on fire? Do you think maybe if you if you realize why some of the most popular people on the planet have gotten popular, like, think about it. Tate, Trump, Elon, output, massive output. Obviously on a scale that is not workable for you or I at this point, for either of us. But it's a principle. Output extremely high. If you get your output to be daily, versus once a week, you give yourself, it's not just 7 times more volume, it's actually compounds over time and has such a significant effect, because instead of let's say a prospect needs 20 times to see you, right? To work with you. They're just 20 videos away from actually giving you their money. Cool. So you just be like, oh, I just need to put 20 videos. Wrong. No, you don't. You actually need to put more, something like 80 videos out, because they're probably seeing about a quarter of your content. All your followers don't see your content. You look at the engagement. It's obviously not the case. So they're seeing 1 in every 4. And then that doesn't even consider that there might not even be the pieces that speak to them. So some people will genuinely need to receive like 100+ pieces of content from you over the course of a year to consider even messaging you to inquire, let alone like give you their money. So if they need to see you 100 times, every day that you delay and don't put out a piece of content, you significantly delay the potential future of a client working with you. It's not by a day. It's by dozens of days. It's by weeks and months every day that goes by. The stakes of this are high, but also the reward of this is incredible. Incredible. So you want to think about that when you're thinking about procrastinating content, is that you're in your own way. And this is hard. I'm telling you, I'm sitting there for 90 minutes agonizing over a fucking post, making sure I'm well researched. I get it. I hyperfixate. I'm like, fucking shit, am I well researched? Am I like all the nuances of the science right here? Like, I did that. Like, I'm thinking, I want to make sure I don't get called out. I want to make sure, like, I have a reputation to keep up and to maintain, and a scientific rigor at this very important value of mine. I want to speak objectively. Okay, all right, what about the other side? All right, I said this about me, but what about the exception? I was talking about all types of controversial things. I'm not even going to say them because I'm going to get flagged. You know, during 2020, all that shit went down. I'll talk about all that. I was putting out research on that. I was trying to be super nuanced, right? And it was taking me hours. And it was bogging me down. It was too much. All you need to do is just make qualifying statements. We think this, maybe this, potentially this. And you just save so much time instead of agonizing over just scientific truth, which doesn't even exist because it's all degrees of probability. Anyway, I did that. I'm sitting there looking at fonts. I spent 4 hours on fonts. Being like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? I am too poor to fucking give a fuck about a font. And so are you. You are too goddamn poor. You know when you care about fonts? You make at least a fucking 100 grand before you care about goddamn fonts, typography, and colors and branding. Or you could care about it because I cared about it. Like, I get it. Like, I built my own fucking website. I built like 7 fucking websites, right? And that was what a waste of time. I should have just gone to Upwork and just gotten some Bangladeshian fucking wizard who will do it for $10 an hour. And that's what I do now. And thank God I do that. Do you man the amount of time I spend? Oh my God, you should be helping clients, not fucking working on, oh, how do I code? Ain't no ChatGPT when I came up too. I sound like an old goddamn wizard. Ain't no ChatGPT when I came. I had to fucking do this manually. Buying themes. Oh, you don't want to know this. You don't want that smoke. So you go to Upwork, you pay some Bangladeshian, Indian, Pakistani, Filipino $10 an hour. And you say, can you do this? They do it, done. Wake up the next day, done. It's a fucking miracle, right? You have $10 an hour. Yes, of course you do. So that's outsourcing and delegation. That's making your life a bit easier. But I was agonizing over content too. Like the perfectionist mindset. Like, I get that. I really get that. Like, I've been there. Like, I really understand it because the pervasive narrative for me growing up was I was never good enough. Like, I was never good enough. Like, that was the pervasive narrative for me. And thank God I received that because I think it really helped me and gift me anyway with really just being relentless and really having great attention to detail. But at times it would bog me down and it would slow me down. So you need to recognize that and get out of your own way. You are too poor to agonize about the details of that level. You need to help people. It doesn't matter. There are examples of people who have really helped people with just very average looking, shitty looking content, and they're having more impact than you. They're making more money than you. And guess what? They're dumber than you. They have less qualifications than you. They have less experience than you. You should be mad as fuck about that. Because not only them, they're making more impact, they're helping more lives, they're making more money than you. Doesn't that annoy you? Because they're not smart enough to get in their own way. Does that make sense? Like, you almost need some like ignorance. It's like fucking like nonchalantness about it. So look, we've established that you're too poor to care about fonts and branding and colors. And that, look, if you do want to spend that time, that is okay. You just can't let it get in the way of the execution of doing it. So let's say you spend that time doing it, spend an hour on doing this, hour on doing this. Cool. You could spend 8 hours on a piece of content, but you better do that every fucking day. You better do that every day. You better make the time to put out content every day. You spend that time if you want, but you can't post fucking once or twice a week or 3 times a week because you spent 8 hours agonizing over fucking minutia details. No, that's not going to work. I can afford to do that because I still got the work done, right? Now, were there times where I didn't? Yeah, I had to learn that lesson hard. I'm like, fuck, this is not good enough. It's not good enough. The numbers on the board are adding up. It's not good enough. So then I realized, okay, this is why it took me too long to get to where I'm at. I could have done this 5 years ago had I known what I know now, but that's what I'm imparting to you guys. So that's the gift of wisdom. That's the gift of age and experience. So avoid my mistakes, right? Remember that you're too poor to care about the minutiae of detail. Minutiae of detail you can outsource and delegate once you have a little bit of cash flow and money and that you have more time, okay? You can have even more fun with it. You can play more. The content you should make should be a lot of play anyway. It should be a bit silly, it could be funny, like doing karate kicks in the air, like evidence-based training makes, what does he make? He makes over $1 million. We're talking about this. I don't know if this is public. Oh, well. Yeah, it's probably obvious as well. Like, look at his cars. I think he does 1 to 2 mil a month, and he's just doing really stupid shit and calling people the C word. Like, does that not bother you that someone is so themselves? Like, they become popular just because they have the courage to be themselves and just like putting out content every single fucking day for like 5 years. I analyzed his whole thing every single day. Like, and he was a coach 5 years beforehand. And you look at it now, like, oh my God, look at how well that content good is. How good that content is. Like, you know, it started off shit. Started off like not good, like before and after pics and meal swaps and food swaps, like replace Coke, Diet Coke for fucking, replace regular Coke for Diet Coke. Like, that's how it started. Scroll back. I scrolled back through 2,000 posts. Did I do it manually? No, because I'm not a dummy. I used fucking script because I know how to hack the matrix. Anyway, can't teach you that right now. It's too complex. So it's going to be hard. And you probably should quit and not do it because it's hard. You get to run a business. You chose this. What a gift you chose. Why don't you want to do it? If you don't want to do it, and if you're noticing all this resistance come up, it calls into question whether this thing is really for you. And that maybe there's a better zone of genius like there was for Kiara. And that's okay if there is. You just have to try enough shit to figure out what that is. For me, I've been in it for 10 years. I love to sit there and work on the business. I love to sit there and read research papers. It's difficult, but you need to be a bit obsessed. Chase your curiosity. And the bigger your goals, the bigger your dreams, the more it necessitates that. And you're in a market now that is more saturated than ever. When I was coming up, it wasn't as saturated. Functional medicine, holistic health coach, I could really separate myself by being the all-in-one guy because there was much less competition. There is more competition now than ever. Everybody can win. I think everybody can eat in a way, but everybody can't be millionaires. No way. You know you're competing against people, guys and girls, who are willing to post every day, who are relentless, and they're going to take your clients. They will take them. And you're wondering, where are my leads? They're at the other guy and the other girl because they're doing the work and you're not. So, look, I didn't finish my story about the whiteboard. I'm posting every day. Client, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, bam, 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 bam. I'm hit 20. Oh, shit. I cross 100 grand. Fucking big dopamine from that. Let's go. Oh shit, it's possible. I did it. I wrote Napoleon Hill, Think and Go Rich, make 75 grand a year. I was a teenager. I thought, oh shit, 75 grand. Can't wait till I make that. Hit 100. Online coaching. Yeah. I was asking questions so much from mentors and coaches. I'm like, Ben Camp was one of my coaches back then. I roll up, he's got the Mercedes-Benz in the drive. I'm like, what the fuck? 250, 300 grand car. How'd you do that? He's got kids. The whole house paid off, all that shit. Right? How'd you do that? You're an online coach like me. You do functional medicine, holistic health, blood work, and all that jazz. How you do that? And by the way, I did coach in the gym floor for years and years and years, getting paid for nothing, literally working for free at $14 an hour. So I know what it's like to work for long periods of time without the instant gratification of the reward. Some of my mentors back then would say, you guys are so entitled. I literally got told I was entitled for wanting more money. We should kind of work for free or work for less for longer periods of time because the opportunity was so worth it. This is the message we got from one of the guys there. And we're getting paid $20, $24, and we're like fucking arguing over like an extra $6 an hour, like $30 or $35, for an hour session. This was the going rate back then in like strength and conditioning. And straight out the gate, you guys are charging like 80, 90, 100. It's just different. It's a different market now. Like, you have to understand, like, times have changed. Competition's higher. You also never got paid more. Inflation and all that, yeah, of course, I understand. But you've also never got paid more. So, what a gift that is that we can get paid $100 fucking an hour straight out of the Cert 4. Straight out of a degree. Jeez, Louise. The whiteboard. Hit 100K. Keep going. Momentum builds. But every now and again, you lose a client. Oh my God, I lost a client. I own them. I'm attached to them. The feedback loop of that is so important. I did my money and master course. I started putting money support into my coaching. And that could be for you guys as simple as gifting them books, Think and Grow Rich, getting them books on the psychology of money, on Profit First, on the Barefoot Investor. You got to reprogram and recondition their beliefs around money. Otherwise, you're going to bear the brunt of that in the future. You need to put this into your coaching. I've gifted all my Trinity students on their first retreat that they did in Victoria, in Phillip Island. We gave them all Think and Grow Rich. How many of y'all have read that book? How many of y'all have started it? How many of y'all is it just sitting in the fucking closet, bedroom, just sitting there? You haven't even opened it, highlighted shit. How many? You really want it? You really want this? You say you do. You didn't even read a book that was specifically gifted to you that has played significant roles in our lives and getting us to the point where we can teach and lead you. And we tell you this book is going to help you, and you don't even finish it. You don't deserve success then. You don't deserve to win. You don't deserve the life that you dream of. God and universe is very giving for those who truly try. And that book sitting there is evidence of your lack of effort, let alone posting every day. No one's telling you this. You need to confront this. No one's telling you this. I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy. I'm fine being the bad guy because in a week, a year, 6 months, you'd be like, fuck, he was right. Because I had mentors and people tell me this. And in the moment, it was uncomfortable, but on the back end, it changed my life. And it enabled me to live a life where I can give back and support other people in a very meaningful way. And I thank God for that. And I thank God for that. So I'm happy to bear the brunt of this discomfort and this conversation where one of you messaged me saying, like, that I didn't like how you said that. Okay. I can take full responsibility and accountability for things that may be too, you know what? I'll take full responsibility and accountability when it comes. Okay. I'm not going to assume that, I've fucking pissed off the world. Anyway, let's keep going. The whiteboard, right? So I hit 100K and we're fucking dancing, we're fucking laughing. We've never done this before. We're breaking boundaries. At this point, I'm like, am I making more than like my parents and shit? It's kind of cool. It's like, oh shit, like, my family, I don't come from wealth, so like my family's, just had to make it my own. I was in such a poverty mindset that I was like, I didn't know how to, I've never told this actually. Here you go. You get this 1 hour in. I've never said this. I was in such a poverty mindset growing up. Then I was like, oh, okay, I don't know how to make money. When my parents and my pass away, I'll be able to inherit all these assets. Then I can just do something with that. That is the literal mindset I used to have. Fucked. Just like had no idea how to make money. Was just like, all right, they've turned a $50,000 home, and just through inflation and the market going up, it's now $1 million. I'll just inherit that. I'll sell a few things. I'll invest that in the stock market. Cool, I'll be good. Like, so low level, low frequency, low responsibility mindset. I used to have that. I used to have that. I'm like, oh, I just wait for it to be given to me. Like the level of entitlement that little motherfucker had. And then I realized I can't wait. Not only that, I can't wait. That's not the way you want to operate as a man. That's not the way you want to operate as an entrepreneur. There's so many levels of the value system conflict that I experienced as a result. That's not the person I wanted to be. I had to take complete accountability and responsibility and realize, oh, fuck this, fuck the house, fuck the assets. I'm going to do it without that. And so I did it. And I kept growing and I kept grinding and I kept applying. And it was really important that I took that. I stepped into my student position for my mentors, and I shut the fuck up and I asked a ton of questions. When Ben can't coach me, I was asking him about business. How'd you do this? And I kept asking questions and questions and questions and questions. And he really developed a respect for me. And I was paying him whatever it was at the time, 100 a week for coaching. We only had 15 minutes, and I'm like messaging him, and I'm like, oh, we went over 20, 25 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like downloading all this information. I'm like writing notes, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I got to set up a Calendly. I learned to set up a Calendly booking system through him, through just osmosis of someone else doing it, right? And then I'm like, okay, I need a Calendly. Oh, here's how he does it. Okay, so how much should I charge for this? And I just did it by osmosis. No one told me. I just figured the fuck out by watching the people around me, and I was doing that, and I was putting the pieces together. And then I signed up for Carl Goodman's newsletter. I paid $150 a month to receive a literal fucking paper newsletter that my mentor made, and it got mailed out to us. And I sat there at the dining table and I highlighted, okay, so retention, lead acquisition. Okay, so I need to do this and change this. And then I hired him as my mentor and paid him tens of thousands of dollars to do that. And he changed my life as a result. But when I also realized that I paid him up front as well. So there's massive skin in the game, which I realized I've created perverse incentives for some of my students by not doing that. So we're going to fix all of that. Anyway, you live and you learn. So a lot of skin in the game, just like downloading, execution. So the feedback loop of input to execution was fast. That was a big difference for me. It wasn't just posting every day. It was let me input and let me iterate. So I set up the website, I set up the landing page. I made a big sales copy landing page. That really helped me because that did a lot of the selling on the upfront. That landing page was fucking killer. I'm very, very good at writing copy. I'm very, very good at psychology and sales and communication, right? It's very difficult to find someone better than me other than the giants and the greats who are just like, we're standing on. Like I can say that very confidently, and just the numbers don't lie. Like a very high level of conversion that I don't even call conversion, but I just call like, people feel trusting enough that I can get the job done, and I get the job done. So all these pieces come together. Like, okay, I'm hitting another piece. Fuck, setback. Ah, shit. I didn't calculate for that. A couple clients pull away, money problem. And then I increase my prices. Demand goes up. And I'm just, we're going up 10, 15, 20. Shit, once I hit 20 clients, 25 clients, 150K, 160K, 180K. And every new client, and where I realize if I raise my prices just by a little bit, then I don't need as many clients. So instead of needing 40, 50 clients to make this amount of money, like 200K. I need 35 clients. And then I raise my prices again. Then I have different tiers. Then I have a hybrid offering. I already had a hybrid offering. Then I have a different offer. And then I charge more for the upfront on the consult. Then I put minimum terms in. And then I remove the minimum terms. And I try that. And then I iterate, refine, feedback loop. Bang, 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 bang. And every new step is a new brick laid. Every new day is a new brick laid. And I'm just getting better and better every single day. And then by the time I look at that whiteboard, it's full. It's full. And it gets so full, I stop recording. I don't even remember the number it was at. It might have been above 300 grand. I say, Alhamdulillah. I wrote down 75 grand on a piece of paper when I was a teenager. I was working for free. I walked 3 clients that I posted on Melbourne Gumtree. It's like Craigslist. And I said, I will coach you for free. No one told me to coach for free. I just wanted to coach. I had no offer to sell them. I didn't have no upsell. I'd walk people through my parents' house, slightly embarrassed. Stranger. Never met them before. Imagine you put an ad out and you walk a stranger through your house and then start talking to them deep about their lives. Get them to tell you all the intricacies of their lives. Sitting beside them in your office as your family downstairs making noise, fucking arguing. Free. One of the girls' name was Genevieve. That's what I remember. Trained her for 1 session, never saw her again. I trained her for free. Would have been a moment of failure. Fuck. I did that twice. 2 girls I did that with. I did it 2-3 times and then it never got back to me. In that moment, I could have walked away. I could have stopped. But I didn't. All right, let me get a diploma. Let me do this proper. By the way, I was coaching without any qualifications. A diploma. I just needed reps. I just wanted to coach. All right, fuck the money. I just coach. Y'all want all the money now. Fuck out of here. I just wanted to coach. I coached. I got a position, reached out to a gym, private gym, West Melbourne, and trained under a private gym there with premium high-end clients. She was charging me out for 100, 120 an hour. I was getting paid 40% of that. Okay, wow, fuck, $40 for a session. $40, $50 for a one-on-one. Group classes, things like that. Like a lot of strength training, like very aligned values. There for a year and a half, 2 years. Woodfield Sports Science Consulting changes my life. Changes my life. Shout out to Christian. What up, man? I send him a video. I make him a video. I do the internship. I say, I want a job here. Tell me what I got to do to earn a job here. The video's online on my YouTube. You can see it. It's Reddit Alexander. And he loved it. In fact, I looked at it. It's got like 11 views, and I sent it to just him. How the fuck I got 11 views? He sent it to his whole team. Everybody looking at it. I'm like, fuck. I don't know what's gonna happen here. He said, I do the internship. I meet Jeremy Borzillo. First time we met, came up together. And he said, I'll give you a coaching position. You gotta start a degree. He said, start a degree. He said, basically, what that meant was dedicate 5,000 hours of your life and 35, 40 grand. And I'll give you a position here because we only have degree qualified coaches or coaches who are getting degrees here. I didn't hesitate. I didn't hesitate. All of y'all are hesitating on fucking things like, what do? I do this? Do I do that? You have an opportunity in front of you to create greatness, to create a life, a good life. And you're like, let me think about it. Fuck. Let me get back to you. I didn't say shit. I said, okay. I showed him. Here it is. Hide. And then, 4 years later, I'm presenting with him in New Zealand for the first international workshop to the high performance director of the greatest rugby team in the world. He's in the audience and we're teaching to them. And I'm co-presenting. I've only been a coach for 3-4 years. Christian's like, man, do you just know who you just presented in front of? No. Told me. Oh, shit. 6 months or 12 months later, I have a marketing strategy. Y'all don't know I used to run the marketing for Woodford's when Woodford's was at its but at its peak. I think my marketing I did for Woodfords was quite groundbreaking. I took what they did on the Ask Gary V show and I created the Ask Woodford show. Go back and see. I made that all from scratch. No one taught me marketing. No one taught me or any of that shit. I did it just by learning from osmosis and studying the greats. We created a show and it got a lot of traction compared to what was around then. We were one of the firsts. We're one of the firsts. And we create the show. I direct it. I do the marketing. I do all the thumbnails. I agonize over all those details. I'm there in the trenches. I'm there behind the camera. All of that shit. And I'm a coach. And we put out a marketing campaign to get Joe DeFranco. He's Hero and Idol. Those who don't know, Joe DeFranco is an OG in the strength and conditioning community, in the strength training community. He's one of the most well-respected OG coaches in America. If you haven't listened to his podcast and you want foundations on strength and conditioning, athletic development and strength training and habit change and just training in general, you just get it from a very grounded, earthy, just like tell it how it is guy there, right? He's not the most popular, but he's great. And he's one of the most well-respected. And we put a thing out to Joe. Tag Joe in the comments. We're gonna get him on. We wanted to get him on the podcast. Christian to get on the podcast. Joe's in America. He's in New Jersey. We're in Melbourne, Australia. 30 hours away. Joe responds. You get here, we'll do it. We got him. So what happens? Well, a 24-year-old kid who's just been in the game as a coach now gets the opportunity to fly to America to meet and be around one of the best coaches in America. Someone I looked up to and idolized, with my mentor and the guy who put me in this position, Christian. We fly all the way to New Jersey and we do the podcast. In fact, if you watch it, I make a cameo appearance for about 2 minutes while Christian's in the bathroom. I made it on the Joe DeFranco show. Not only that, which is its whole moment, it's on YouTube as well, you can look up. We got the opportunity to be a part of the Iowa Hawkeyes D1 football team. And strength and conditioning was a very big focus of mine then, along with emerging holistic health. And we go to Iowa Hawkeyes. We fly to Iowa. One of Christian's contacts is there. And we go shadow and watch them for a day. And we watch their high performance team and how they do it. And man, that was an insight. And we get to meet the highest paid coach in Division 1 football, who also coincidentally looked like Thanos, the G. Get to meet the staff. I'm downloading. I'm like, I get their cards. I get their information. I'm like, could I get an internship here? Yeah. Here's our details. Here's how it would work. I'm like organizing, like, fuck, do I get an internship here? Like, I opened the door where I could get an internship at one of the best college D1 programs in the country because I went all the way there. I opened a door. So monumental changes were happening and doors were opening because I said yes to something as small as, well, just first taking that first person for free in my garage and in my home, family's home, not my home, to being humble enough to be like, all right, I'll start a whole degree to get a job here. And I continually applied myself and I said yes to everything. Everything. I was nervous to shadow. When I did the internship at Woodfords, I was nervous. I was nervous to shadow Christian. He had I was like 21. I don't know how old I was. He had such a larger than life personality. A part of me probably was a little bit intimidated. He was very energetic. Like he was it's not just energy. It was like domineering, hyper masculine, swears a lot, don't fuck with me, my way or get out. Like very like strict like that. Go up to him on the first day and I realized I need to put myself around greatness. Fuck this. I'm nervous. Just like I was the first time I sparred. And I'm like, Christian, can I shadow you? I want to shadow, the best people here and I want to get around you. And I explained why. He said, okay. Shadowed him. I fucking shadowed. The other coaches were good. I wanted to go to the top. In spite of my nerves and fears, I'm like, okay, All right, and I just shut my mouth. I ask questions. I take notes. Just observe how he does it, what he says. Okay, he uses this external cue. Why did he say it like that? Oh, this about the nervous system. Okay. High threshold fast twitch motor units. Oh, okay. Oh, the 5 areas of neuromuscular development. Oh, just take notes. Do you know that because I applied for Woodfords and did that internship, I made an impression on 2 staff members there. 2 staff members who I would later would ask me to come and teach a certificate 3 and 4 in fitness. Some of you don't know this. I taught a certificate 3 and 4 in fitness. I was the teacher. So I was teaching coaches to certify them to be personal trainers and coaches. It's like I was doing a Trinity before Trinity, except I was in the matrix. I was controlled by we were controlled by the parameters of the governing of the health side of the government. Now, Orphic Education at the time, it was we were just trying to be so groundbreaking and different compared to the norm. We were trying to be just so much better and different than just cookie cutter Cert 3-4s. And we were leading the charge. And at the education side of things, we were really trying to push it. And we're just redoing the whole curriculum. And it was painstaking and agonizing and took hundreds and who knows how many hours. And there was the 3 of us just in the dirt. And yeah, those were the good old days. Painstaking days. And then we turned ourselves into a registered trade organization, RTO. And then, also at that time, I ended up teaching 5 intakes. 5 intakes. And about 30 to 50% of my students I would teach would become my clients, paying clients, some of which would then refer me others. So I actually got a great opportunity. It wasn't just clients that I got from online, it was clients that I taught. And the lesson there is proximity. They developed so much trust and respect for me because I was around them teaching them. You understand? That's a lead magnet. That's a free workshop. That's a paid workshop. That's going down to your local business and offering a strategic partnership. Say, hey, can I give away some free coaching to all your customers? That's a version of that. You're not going to be able to mimic teaching a Cert 3-4. You can try. You can go and you can try and become a teacher. It's just, you don't want that smoke, right? So what happened then? I started doing the sales and marketing for Orphic Education, okay? Sales and marketing for Orphic Education. Cool. Let's keep going. What does that mean? It means I started selling high ticket products. Like I was no longer selling $100 a week coaching. I was selling $6,000 certificate 3 and 4. Fuck, that's a lot of money. And I'd get a bonus. I'd get a, what is it, $350, $450 bonus per student I signed. So I really learned a lot about sales and communication there. I'd be doing unscalable shit like talking to these students sometimes for an hour, 2 hours. And then I went from teaching to doing sales and marketing or sales at the same time. And then what did I do? A conversation started where they wanted me to come on and I wanted to come on as a co-owner because I was realizing that to make actual serious money, you need profit share in a successful business. That's what you need. So I wanted that. I wanted a piece of the pie. So I bought in. I bought into Orphic Education with my cash that I saved in the bank. No loan, no, and hey, can I borrow this? No, none of that shit. I just saved my money and invested it. Exactly what you should do. Accumulate, invest. And I did that. And I became a part owner in Orphic Education. And my goal was to establish so much ownership where we all had 1/3 share. But before that could happen, what did we do? We sold the company. I don't know if I can disclose the amount, but it was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. We sold a company. I sold a company. I was like 26, 25. And I helped sell a company for $100,000. We built it up and we sold it. Who did we sell it to? Athletes Authority. One of the most successful, well-respected gyms in the private sector, the athletic development space in the country. Who co-owns Athletes Authority? Carl Goodman. Who mentored me and gave me the idea for Trinity? Carl Goodman. How did I originally get the opportunity at Orphic Education to then meet Carl? Woodford's internship, 20 years old, every day, applying myself. I made an impression on 2 people that would later be a gateway to introducing me to my mentor who helped me create Trinity, which is how I'm here. Do you understand what happens when you apply yourself with a relentless consistency every single day? You don't understand the tiresome work it's going to take. You also don't understand that the doors that you're opening now, you don't understand where they will lead you. All I can say is I truly believe, as a testament to that, because Trinity's going to make me millions of dollars. It's not about that money. Trinity is leaving and has already left a ripple effect that will change thousands of lives. And it will do so because a 20-year-old kid had the courage, the gusto, the work ethic to originally make a video for Christian Woodford and do something that very few people would do and go out of his way, do something that made him feel a bit nervous, felt a bit weird, a bit different. He's like, this is about that was me. I did shit different, trying to separate myself. And I went early to that internship and I stayed late. I walked into Woodford and I said, I want to shadow the big boss, the big guy. Most of you wouldn't do that. Most of you don't do that. And as a result, you lose life-changing opportunities that can fundamentally change the rest of your life. A life worth living is one that involves risk. And those who are timid do not receive. Those who are courageous and enter action with boldness and bravery, God in the universe is very giving. So I deserve every good thing that's happened to me. And you deserve every good thing that's happened to you if you relentlessly pursue daily, relentless action towards your dreams and goals. And you don't just meet the mark, you go above and beyond. And then, 10 years later, you get to stand atop New York City, your dream apartment, paying more money on an apartment people make and spend in a single month. And you do that while still making money. Do that while inspiring other people to chase their own dreams. Actualize your own dream. And you do it through writing numbers on a whiteboard and posting every single day for a year and a half. I'm building a business from 0 to 300 plus K. Through online clients and business mentees and helping people. And it all started from the incredible difficulty of a young kid who just wanted a coach and just wanted to chase his obsession, curiosity. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do? You have a chance of a lifetime to change the rest of your life. And you are not doing enough. What will you do now?